Good morning. This is Professor Anderson with a little bit of insight into week 6. We're rounding the corner towards the end of our course. So, with 3 weeks ahead, I want to take a look at where you've come and then what the assignments for this week are. So, there's two things I want to share with you today. One, a little more concrete information about the differences and types of data and how to present it. And then two, something new I'm going to try with discussions for this week. So the first thing is that in week 6, you'll see from here a little bit of a discussion about the difference between qualitative and quantitative data. And I want to share with you this quick little graphic of the different types of data. So last week in your memo to a decision maker, or actually yesterday when you just uploaded your rough draft, the memo to a decision maker asks permission to conduct primary research, or so you're going to investigate yourself. And basically you're going to try to cull or gather one of two or two different types of data. One is qualitative and the other is quantitative. So here's the nuts and bolts of the basic differences between the two. Qualitative data is that data which consists of words or pictures or observations, nothing that can be concretely solidified and counted. Things like likes and preferences and feelings, like what is your feeling towards blue, or do you prefer red or green, or do you like chocolate or vanilla? That is qualitative, the quality. It's sorted into categories. So a majority of the individuals preferred vanilla ice cream. The largest percent of participants liked chocolate over vanilla. So it is analyzed to look for common themes. Quantitative data is that data which can be expressed as a number. It can be quantified. You're counting the quantity, like test scores. There's no discrepancy in a test score. It's a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4. Weight of an object, the measurements of an object, how many of an object there are, how the time schedules of a bus or a train or something like that. So the difference between these two types of data are one counts the numbers and one counts the preferences or how you feel about it. Both forms are very integral in data forms for research base. So what you're doing is, if you've collected some quantitative data to understand these concrete numbers, and then you've asked qualitative questions about that, you can analyze the quality to understand where this quantity falls within your recommendations. So one thing that I wanted to share with you today is about how to present this data. So now we know this is one way we're counting things, and this is one way we're asking questions about how we feel about things. So this is a great site. This is by the, I think it's National Council or National Center for Educational Standards. It's this awesome website. I know it's called KidZone, but I have pointed my students and my own personal children towards this for years. It's an awesome way to quickly represent data in a host of different types of graphs. It gives you the option to create these, select the colors, enter the parameters. But what I like about this is it shows for you and for any student the real importance of, that old adage of a picture is worth 1,000 words. It is. When you can visualize it and place your data into a graph form, it speaks volumes. So there's simple types of graphs: a bar, a line, an area, pi, and then using a graph form like an X and a Y axis. So I want to share with you how this works. This is you can find it at this NCES. You can go to that website, which is called the National Center for Educational Statistics, not standard, it's statistics. It allows you to devise all types. You can stack your data so that you can do doubles types of data. You can make it in different shapes. Maybe I'll do these in triangles. Now select some background colors. I want to make sure that those colors are very, very different so that one pops out. Those are not quite as contrasting. So that one really pops. I can pick the number of grid lines. I can choose the appearance if I want it 3D, if I want a shadow behind it. I can position. Then I populate my my table or my data, and I tell the title of each. So I'm just going to say test A, Axis symbol is A. For test, I'm just going to say here's axis for Y is B. For test, and then the source, I'm going to list where I've received the information. So I'm going to say questionnaire from, let me spell it correctly, and that will make a big difference, from office workers. And then I can set the number of groups. Let's see, if I want 2 groups, it will double it up. It will change over the bar value. And I'm just going to list the item. I'm going to say 23, 14, 5. I'm just plugging in information here. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm plugging in the wrong information here. These are the items themselves. So these are just, I'm going to label these different things, and then I'm going to place my values in here. Let's do it here. 23, 15, 6, 1, 11. And then I'll place my values for my second graph here. Let's say 4, 23, 8, 6, and 5. And so my minimum value is 1. I've gone up to 23. So I'm going to say my maximum value is about 30. And then I can put my labels. I can pick what kind I want. And then I can preview my graph. So do you see how this presents that information for me? It's easy for me to see what I have, what information or data that I've collected. I can see which particular set of data has more impact than others. And then I can print it and or save it. So I can download it. I can save it to my, my hard drive. I can email it to myself or whatever. So this is a great site. Again, you can produce all different types of graphs. And this allows for the data that you collect, that qualitative and quantitative data, to represent a much more impactful visual for your reader. And that's the whole purpose of a research-based report. You are trying to data-supported persuade in a data-supported fashion a decision maker. You're trying to make that decision maker understand how important this issue is, and that your recommendations are the ones that are, most solidly backed by research. So I hope that was helpful for you. That's what the gist of this week is. And I'm going to produce a second screencast to share with you what I'm going to do differently this week with discussions. They're still due. Don't forget, you have to post your initial by Wednesday, and then your replies to classmates by Friday.